guys, and welcome back to another Attack on Titan video. In this video we're going to be talking about the brilliance of the season 3 opening. Now hold on before you click away from this video. I know that there is a lot of controversy surrounding it and a lot of people don't like it because with the other two openings, when you listen to them, you get the feeling of doing like 40 billion jumping jacks, running around your house, going to the gym. It gives you a hype type feel. And with this opening, it's more of a calm, emotional feel. And a lot of people don't like that. But the thing is that that's exactly what we need for this specific season. Now, this video is going to contain very, very mild spoilers. It's not going to be anything in detail, nothing like that at all. But if you like to go into the next season or the next couple of chapters that you're reading with a blank slate, then maybe this isn't the video for you and you should catch up before you watch this video. But if you're okay with spoilers and you're all caught up, please continue watching. And there is a poll going on in this top corner where you guys get to decide if you like the opening, if you don't like the opening, or if you're somewhere in between, because I'm very curious to know what my viewers think. And with that, let's just jump into the video. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be breaking down the actual opening. Now, I know Fox and Anime has done a video on this, and I wanted to do this video before I even watched his video. And now that I know that it's out, I know a lot of people might think that I'm trying to copy his video, and that is not the case. A lot of the things that he thought, I thought as well. And I was going to include them in this video, but because he already covered them and because he has a much, much larger following than I do, I'm just going to focus on a couple of the other things that I saw, and if they overlap with what he said, I'm very sorry. I swear I wanted to make this video from the moment that I listened to the opening rather than after I watched his video. So the very first thing that we see in the opening is Eren looking very calm and collected using his mobility gear, and there are some weird blue type orbs surrounding him. Then we cut to Mikasa and Armin, and they also have these blue orbs around them. Now, I think the blue orbs are memories, and I know that's kind of a far stretch, but bear with me and this will make a lot more sense as the video continues. Now, when we see all three of them together, the orbs start surrounding them and going around them, and I think that's the memories and the bonds that they created due to those memories being shown through some kind of like fairy dust, if that makes sense. From there, it continues on, we see it shooting to the sky, and then we cut to Levi, and if you listen to the actual lyrics, it says, "You can hide your fear," and then it's Levi's face. Now, I think this is a great part of the opening, because with the lyrics, "You can hide your fear," and then seeing Levi, we get this emotional sense from Levi. Yes, Levi is Levi. He's this strong, badass, you don't mess with Levi, but he can be scared. And this whole season and the chapters that pertain to this season show Levi's past and what he had to go through and what he's still going through and how scared he was and how he became who he is today. Now, even though he can take down Titans, no problem, it does not mean that he is not scared. So those lyrics, "You can hide your fear," go perfectly with what the opening is trying to portray to us. Now, speaking of the lyrics themselves, if you haven't looked up the English translation, I'll put them up for you on the screen, and you should definitely take a look at them. I'll recite them here to you. Obviously, I'm not going to sing them, but here they are. "Like the scarlet night, veiling in the dark, you can hide your fear, you can lie, my dear. Just dreaming forever like this, those blood-stained wings spread them wide." Obviously, that's referring to the wings of freedom from the scouts. "What's the lie, what's the truth, what to believe in my life? Like a fallen angel washed away by the wind of time, then fell into the starry night, just like the goddess embracing me tight for eternity, fly to heaven." Now, those lyrics just by themselves are so symbolic of what's going to be happening in this season. Now, talking about what's the truth, what's a lie, that's going to be Historia's conflict, who to believe, and I'm not going to tell you why, but that pertains to Historia. Getting back to the actual opening though, we then cut to Levi standing up, his back against the wall. I know Fox and Anime thought that he was like laying down, and he's actually, his back's against the wall. It's like the camera angle's like up here and he's looking up. Now, my opinion on this and my take on this is that Levi is seeing what we saw earlier with the memories flying up to the sky, Mikasa, Eren, and Armin's memories flying up to the sky. And that's what Levi's looking at, like, symbolically, because in the chapters Levi takes a look at their relationship as a whole, and I think that's what they're trying to portray in the opening. And then you see Levi, like, cut back to Levi, and then he's holding his head. Obviously now he's remembering a devastating memory or something bad from his past, because Mikasa and him have the same quality that when they remember something bad or when something bad happens, they hold their head like this. We're not sure why yet, but that has been a recurring thing. Then we cut to Levi when he was young, and in the shot that I'm going to show you, Levi doesn't have many orbs around him, but we still know that they're there. Now, I think this is because he doesn't have very good memories to look back on, whereas Mikasa, Eren, and Armin had a surplus of good memories and bright, glowing memories to look back to. Levi either blocked a lot of the memories from the past, or he doesn't have any good memories to look back on, so that's why he only has like 3 or 4 surrounding him, as in contrast to like 50 with the others. Then we see Kenny's reaction to him, and this shows that Levi was able to get Kenny's attention, but it was not enough to have Kenny be completely interested in with him. We know that Levi lived with Kenny, but it wasn't like a dad and son type of relationship. From there we cut to Erwin looking at himself through glass, which is the perfect symbolic way of showing that you're looking back on your past or a memory. We see him and his father, and I know that the Japanese words were there, but when they disintegrate you see this big bundle of orbs, and I know that happened in other scenes, but where they're specifically placed in this scene is next to the book. And I think this is the perfect way of showing the good memories and the beautiful memories that he formed with his father, just through his father teaching him, and how it shaped him into the man that he is today. Then with Historia, it looks like she's blowing these orbs away, and I think this is such a brilliant way of showing that Historia is blowing the memories of her past away to become Krista Lens. All the memories with her family and everything are just gone, and that's how she becomes Krista. Then I think we get a look into one of the actual orbs, and it's a memory of her and her sister. I think it's the orbs because of the color contrast and the crystal type feeling in the background. I think that's a perfect way of symbolizing being inside the actual memory itself. We then see that weird scene where it's flashing between Eren, Mikasa, and then Armin, and we see a hand. Obviously it's Eren's hand because at the end there's a cut which he uses to transform into his Titan. But what's interesting about that is seeing how the hand reacts to each character. So when Eren pops up, it's trying to like reach towards him, and I think it's the perfect way of showing that he perhaps wants to reach back into time, and to a time where he was more Eren than a soldier, if that makes sense, and he had a clear point of what he wanted to do. We then see how the hand reacts to Mikasa, kind of reaching out, because he knows that he can always look to Mikasa for help, and that he'll always be safe with Mikasa. Like if you were a kid and you were scared, you'd reach out to your mom the same way he reaches out to Mikasa, if that makes sense. Then we see Armin, which is the weirdest one of them all. Eren kind of does a weird thing like this, and then you see the blood on his hand. Now, I think that means that Armin represents the humanity of Eren, and the initial goal that Eren had was to go outside the walls and everything, and just see the world and reclaim the world from the Titans. That was Eren's first goal, but then it all became clouded when his mother died and everything like that. Then he clenches his fist, and I believe that's because he's starting to realize how far he's strayed from his actual path that he began on. He had a very clear goal, and then all of this stuff started happening, and now he's on a completely different goal, and he's doing things that he never thought that he'd have to do. From there, then I believe that we see another memory inside one of the orbs, another memory of his family, and that's just a representation of what his initial goal was. I'm sorry that I have my notes right here. What his initial goal was is to like avenge his mother's death, and we see also his old house, and he just wants to get back to that point, you know? At this point in the story, he doesn't really know what he's fighting for in the manga, which is very typical of heroes what they want to do gets clouded a lot of the time, and they go through this stage of self-doubt and they really don't know what they should be doing, which is very characteristic. We then cut to the scene where we see older Eren that was in the Scouts and younger Eren bumping into him. Obviously, younger Eren cannot recognize himself as a Scout, I believe, and older Eren does not even want to give the time of day to look at younger Eren. I believe that's a self-choice. Like, if he looks too far into what he used to be, it'll cause him to kind of have depression, I feel like, because he wanted to join the Scouts because he was so passionate about it. It was going to be this great thing, and that's what his younger self was striving for. And if he looks back at that and where he is now, that's very depressing, because so much happened that caused him to do all these things that he didn't want to do, and it's just not what he wanted. Then we have a scene where the three, Armin, Mikasa, and Eren, are running away, and we cut back to what I believe is Eren that the younger Eren bumped into. This is getting kind of complicated, but bear with me, there will be stuff on the screen. And Eren has this face of like he's looking at them and then he gets sad, and this is exactly what I was talking about just a couple seconds ago. He looks into that memory and he sees how they were and what all of what they could have been and what they should have been, but then all of this happened, and you can see the under ice form under his eyes, which indicates sadness or depression. And I mean, just put yourself in his shoes. If you had these goals and then something bad happened and now you're on a completely different path, but you're kind of where you wanted to be, but all of this had to happen to you, you would not want to look back at yourself in any way, because in some ways you'd be disappointed as to how you got to where you are. Right after that, we get a glimpse of the other Titan shifters from Marley, which is the direct theme of what I just mentioned. They cannot go back and fix what they did when they were young, and if they were to look back into their memories, they'd be very ashamed as well, as we've seen with other characters in the manga. Mikasa's shoe falling was one of the weirdest parts of it, and I believe, as well as Fox in Anime, he mentioned this too, that that's Mikasa leaving behind all that she could have been. She's a girl after all. She's not some kind of crazy war monster. She is a girl, and she had the possibility of being a regular girl, a regular teenage girl, eventually becoming a mother, all of this, but now she's so caught up in all of this Titan stuff that, you know, she had to leave that part of her behind, and she can't look back. She can't keep looking back to it. She needs to keep moving forward, and that's why they're running away. Also, we see Eren's key to the basement, indicating that's what his true goal is. That's what he needs to move forward to rather than looking back at the past. Lastly, we have the memory of all three of them, which is the same consistency as Historia's memory with the crystal type background. So that's just one of the main memories that maybe is holding them all together and keeping them strong, is the memory of all three of them and how happy they were. Even though it can be depressing to look back on, that's what's important to them. A lot of people are asking why there aren't Titans in this opening. Now, with the past two openings, there had to be Titans because the chapters focused on Titans. But with the chapters that are pertaining to season 3, it's more of an internal struggle between people in the walls. You don't really go out and fight Titans in the walls. And this is where the spoilers come in. I'm not going to mention too much, but don't be expecting these great battles with a bunch of Titans. There are going to be some Titans, but it's more of an internal struggle with people. That's why there are no Titans in the actual opening. It's showing you the humanity of the people and the struggle, because if you're going to be fighting people, that's not what you signed up to the Scouts to do. Killing people is not what you signed up to do, and they're having all of these internal struggles in doing so, and that's why in the actual lyrics it says, spread those bloody wings, I think. Those bloodstained wings, spread them wide. And I think that's more pertaining to the human blood that they're spilling inside of the walls, for good reason. You'll get to it if you have not read the manga. But anyways, that's what I think the opening means, and to me it's such a beautiful opening, and it really shows the humanity of the show rather than just kicking Titan ass. But anyways, if you like manga and anime uploads, please don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell on the bottom, because I make new videos every single week. And don't forget to participate in the poll as well, because I want to know what you guys thought. And with that, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!